Hi there and happy Friday. It is July 11th, 2025, and you are tuned into the Big Agent Meeting. Today, we've got an amazing show lined up for you guys. We've got an interview with Leo Pareja and Jill Rufus. If you guys didn't see that yet, you got to check that thing out. We're going to do a preview of that today. We've got an update from Holly Mabery, of course, with the brokerage brief. And then, of course, we've got a reminder of what's going on at EXP University with the one and only Alyssa Specht. So before we do that, I've got a public service announcement coming to you, compliments of Juan Espinoza from the university team. He said, and I quote, on 7-Eleven day, if you go to 7-Eleven, they'll give you a free small Slurpee on 7-Eleven, which is Friday, which is today. So pop into your local 7-Eleven and claim your free Slurpee today. You're welcome for that one to everybody that actually shows up and does that. All right, so to kick off today, I'm going to kick off with Market Minute. And then next week, we're going to shift to a new segment I'm going to be doing called Attraction Advantage, to where we talk about little parts and pieces of attraction. Go figure, a growth guy talking about attraction. But before we do that, this is the last Market Minute part, and I've got a good one for you guys. Earlier today, somebody said to me, the market, with regard to the market, is it up or down? I think it's up. I think it's up a little bit. Or it's definitely down below. And I was like, all right, hold on a second here. What's going on in your market? You know, I love to ask that question. So I said to him, let's do this. Pull up in your MLS right now. Let's find out what's actually going on in your market. Somebody had said to him, they're worried that the market's going to go down and sales are going to go down. I said, well, how do you know? And he goes, I don't know. I said, let's figure it out. So what we did is we actually pulled the last 10 years in that county of how many sales happened in the last 10 years. And then based off of that, last year was 5,306, as all the way far back to 14, 5,170, and everything in between. You've got a bunch of high five, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, high five. You see where the trend is going? So what I said is you take those last 10 years, add them up, divide by 10, and your last 10-year average is 5,837 sales. So are you on track for a better year or a worse year right now? So his year-to-date current for 6 months, 2661. Times that by 2, and you get 5322. Okay? 5322 is what they're on track for this year. So are they on track for an above average year, or are they on track for a below average year? I would say they'd have to go up quite a bit right now just to get up to 5,800. So the good news is actually the total number of sales per year is actually down in that market. And by the way, this is Fort Wayne, Indiana. So Fort Wayne, Indiana market is actually less sales than normal. So what do you normally expect over the next couple of years? If you're going to make a plan, what should you expect? Barring something unusual happening, should be very, very similar, or more likely to actually have more sales if it heads more towards a normal sale market. So with that said, it's super important that you understand in your individual market what's going on, and then find out what your market average is. Are you above or below what your normal year of sales is in that market? It tells you what's most likely to happen. And then you have the level of confidence where you can say, I don't see it. Could it drop a little bit? Sure. Has it been a little bit lower in the past? Absolutely. But is it reasonably close to the bottom? Yeah, most years are substantially above that. So you've got a better chance over the next 10 years of that number moving back towards normal as an average going forward. It's important to know that information so you have a feel for what your actual market is doing. We're hearing a lot of noise out in the market that the sky is falling. Inventory levels are through the roof. Sales are down. Just check your market. Know what your market is doing and then be able to speak to that. And by the way, let's throw in a little attraction advantage part. If you become the person that is the reference for this, for information for your market, the other real estate agents in your market are going to see this stuff and say, hey, wow, that Russ guy's pretty sharp. Hey, my business is shutting down. My office is shutting down. I'm going to go hang out with that Russ guy. This is how you actually become an expert in your market to not only your buyers and sellers, but you also become an expert in the market to the other agents in the market. Just by knowing what's going on in your market and being able to tell that story, you become their expert and their resource. All right, there you go. Market Minute, last one. Next week, we're going to be kicking into Attraction Advantage conversation. And by the way, there's a podcast that goes along with that too. We'll be making sure you guys know where to find that next week. All right, so next up, we have the one and only Ian Wheatley, KGCI Radio. Coming up next.
Hey, happy Friday Focus Day over here at KGCI Real Estate on Air. Have you ever wanted a business that creates mailbox money? I'm talking about building a referral-based business, specifically those outbound referrals, because I know a lot of agents think that they're too busy to do it, at least right now, but what I often really hear them saying is they don't know where to start. Well, coming up right after the big agent meeting over here on KGCI Real Estate On Air, we are starting with me and Real Estate On Air Live. And part of the show that we had on Tuesday, we're bringing it back today, is a conversation with eXp Realty's own Ellie Garcett, who shares the exact systems that she used to build a six-figure outbound referral business. And that's going to be kicking off 6 hours of everything that you would need to know to not only do the outbound referrals, be effective at those inbound referrals, and managing and building that all important referral network. And if you want to know what's working right now, KGCI Real Estate On Air and only on the air on Fridays, my friend, be sure to turn us up during the week for our Mindset and Motivation Monday, joining me Tuesdays for Real Estate On Air Live, our Wealth Wednesday, and of course our weekly Deep Dive, the Friday Focus, where we break down one strategy that can absolutely move the needle in your business this week. All of it is smart, tactical, and it's 100% agent first. And did I mention that it's free? You can listen to us over at the KGCI Real Estate On Air mobile app. Just search KGCI in the Apple App Store or Google Play. Stream us live anytime at realestateonair.fm or catch the replay wherever you listen to podcasts. And if you missed all that, just scan the QR code right here. No fluff, no filters, just the info you wish you actually had when you got licensed. Streaming here on KGCI Real Estate On Air.
All right, there you go. Ian Wheatley for KGCI Radio. Great update. Love it. You guys always have value coming every single day with KGCI Radio. Next up, we have Brokerage Brief with Holly Mabery. Take it away, Holly.
Well, happy Friday, everyone. I'm so excited to be with you on the big agent meeting. And a couple of things as we kick off this very hot to go summer. And I also gotta love the song. There's so many headlines that are happening around the world right now, and especially when you start to look at what's been going on in US real estate. So I thought I'd highlight a couple of things to put on your radar and be very, very focused as you're making calls. First and foremost, lending. Let's talk about everything in the last 2 weeks. And yeah, I know it's only the 11th or 12th of July, but my goodness, let's talk about what we know so far. Last week, purchase demands on mortgage applications, they climbed to the highest level since 2023. That's a really good sign. The rates are coming down a little bit, hovering right around 6.77, which is fantastic. That's been slowly eking down over the last 6 weeks or so. Now, why does it matter to you and me? Well, what I want you to know as you're having conversations with your clients is maybe they want to be working actively with their lender. Maybe if they've been on the fence, it's time to pick up the phone and give them a call. If they were holding tight in April or May, maybe now is a good time to just do a check-in, have them update and refresh with their lender. Now, there were two big announcements coming from the FHFA director last week, William Pulte. What was first and foremost is he said, all right, Fannie and Freddie, we want you to prepare for the use of cryptocurrency in your business for single family mortgages. And that was kind of like, all right, what does this really mean? How do we really go forward? Well, his directive was just that. It was kind of a memo to everyone. What's important here is we know that crypto on the whole has been pretty, it fluctuates a lot. How about that? And so as a result, it's really only going to impact conventional loans at this time that are put out by the GSEs. But what we want to watch is the minutia, like the messy in the middle. So if you've got somebody who's heavily into crypto and they're like, hey, I think I can buy a house with my crypto. Awesome. Let's have that conversation. There are not quite all the lenders up to speed on this. Also, I want you to look for a great title company that is versed in crypto. It's one of those that is very important. And then finally, some of your purchase contracts, depending on the state you're in, require the funds to be in US currency. And that means the dollar. It doesn't, you have to convert the crypto to US dollars. Now, we may see that start to shift. And so having a title company that's really used to, or a closing agent that can actually facilitate that kind of funds, very important. Finally, what we will likely see is some sort of fluctuation variance that if the currency drops below a certain threshold, the lender can call the note due. And we see that a lot in commercial, but there's some conversation happening right now. It could very well be headed your way for crypto. So something to talk about, something to just generate interest. And this is the other thing. A lot of these folks who have crypto can probably qualify the old-fashioned way. It's just a conversation. Now, the other thing that really caught my attention was with regard to the Vantage for credit score. Now, the director is saying, hey, GSEs, Fannie and Freddie, you are absolutely going to start using these credit scores immediately. And so let's break this down. What does it mean? Well, in his memo, his directive, he said, hey, this is going to increase competition for the credit score ecosystem. So really impacting the FICO credit score. Now, tri-merged isn't going anywhere, but the Vantage is a big deal. Vantage is saying, hey, we're going to add 33 more million consumers to potentially the home buying process, which could be fantastic. Now let's talk about the difference between FICO and Vantage. And you can kind of see the payment history. Payment history for Vantage creeping up a little bit higher. The age and type of credit, that is a little bit lower. The length of credit history, also a little bit lower. Because this is what's so interesting. You can actually qualify for a Vantage credit score with like a month's worth of credit history, whereas FICO takes 6 months. So all of these things start to shift a little bit differently. And that's when you start to look at these headlines. Okay, now I want you to think of the buyer or seller sitting across the table from you. How do you have a better conversation? How do you know what to say next? And so these are 3 action items I want you to consider. The first is I want you to call your local lender that you trust, that you always lean into. Call them and talk to them about what has changed in their business practice, given the things coming out from FHFA in the last week. How are they doing credit scores differently? Because there's been some rumblings for some time around it. Not every lender has made that shift, but let's see where they're at. Then, what are they seeing as far as rates? Are they seeing an uptick in mortgage applications? And if they are, that bodes well for you locally. And then finally, are there any new loan programs or variations that you should be aware of so you can start calling your clients? Because that's step 2. Step 2, I want you to think about all the buyers that you're actively working with, the people that haven't found that right house, but maybe they need a little bit of connectivity. This is a great time to pick up the phone and say, hey, we haven't talked about rates in a while. Let's talk about what it means to you. Maybe we could do a refresh with your lender. You've got folks that you were working with in Q1 or Q2 and just hit the pause button. Great. Pick up the phone, check in on them. Hey, it's hot. I was thinking about you. I was thinking about what's going on in the market, and I wanted to give you a couple of quick updates. Rates are down, mortgage applications are up, but the good news for you, also the inventory in some market areas is increasing. So let's talk about what is a good strategy for you and your family, what serves you best. And then finally, the third thing I want you to think about is your negotiating strategy. With the uptick in a lot of inventory, I want you to think about seller paid closing costs and what it looks like. What are you going after? I want you to have a strategy around that. Be looking at how long a property's been on the market. The second thing I want you to have a conversation with, and this really starts with the lender up front, what does a rate buy down look like and how is it meaningful to this buyer? So if we are at 6.77, but we can buy the rate down, great. Now we're at 6.5. How does that either A, increase their buying power, or B, decrease their monthly payment so it's more comfortable? That's a key thing to be having conversations. And then finally, I'm talking to sellers around, hey, what upgrades are you willing to do? Are you willing to replace the flooring? Are you willing to replace the roof? Water heater is 15 years old. That's got to go. What does it look like? And we're in the middle of summer. Let's talk about the air conditioning. All of that is something that should definitely be at the top of your list. What are these strategies? What is meaningful? What makes the most sense? And a couple other things. As you're calling your clients, don't forget to put this on social media. Talk about what you're doing. This is a great time to post a video about, hey, did you see the headlines? These are 2 things I need you to know. Also, think about your newsletter, whether it's an email campaign that you've got it or an MLS drip campaign. Staying in the forefront and being in the know, that's what we do. That's where we are in this professionals market. So don't stop. I know it's hot, but these are things that are easy to do from the air conditioning, either in your home office or from your car. Connect with your people. Be first to tell them about what could make their life better. Makes all the difference. Thanks, guys. We'll see you soon.
All right, there you go. Holly Mabery, always making sure you guys know what's going on in the market and knows what's going on in the brokerage. So thank you very much for that, Holly Mabery, as usual. All right, next up, we have the one and only Leo Pareja having conversation with Jill Rufus, talking about real estate success stories. I believe Jill talks about how she sold 147 homes in her market. And by the way, she's not been in the business for a million years. So take it away, Leo and Jill.
Jill, thank you so much for making some time to share your story, share your journey. What I do on this podcast is show agents what's possible. And one of the things I like to document and share is the process, right? We live in an Instagrammable world where everything's polished and edited, and no one sees the failures. No one sees the challenges. If I were to pull up your resume, it reads like an agent dream come true. Sold one house year one, sold 5 houses year two, sold 57, then sold 145, right? It's exponential growth. And so take us to the beginning. Like, how did you end up in this crazy industry? And then there's just a whole bunch of stuff I want to unpack with you.
Thanks for having me. I started in real estate a few years after my husband joined EXP, and my husband had been a commercial broker at a large brokerage here in our area, and he just got asked to come to EXP. And as we jumped into what that entailed, he decided to move over, but he had never done residential real estate before, and as a result, he was just, trying to figure out what to do. EXP's commercial division hadn't grown as much at that point. So as he got into it, he got very busy using the tools that EXP had provided. He said, wow, I can do this. I didn't realize how easy this was going to be compared to commercial. Got so busy, he said, hey, can you help me with real estate? And so I thought, well, sure, I'll help you. I can get my license and, do some things to kind of help you move along here. And so that's kind of how I entered in, not knowing what was ahead of me. And of course, right when COVID was first starting to hit.
Year one, 100, house, year two, 5 houses, then like parabolic jump, 10x to 57, and then 3x that, which normally doesn't happen. So the 1 to 5, I think that's what most people experience. So in 2024, if you took the total number of agents at EXP US divided by total transactions reported, non-leases, non-land, so just pure sales, we averaged 5.4 transactions. So in year two, you were statistically average. Right. How do you go from statistically average to 10x?
Great question. So when I started here at EXP, there were 5 EXP agents in all of our town, and they were just scrambling to keep things going. Nobody could teach me anything. Nobody had time to teach me anything, and I didn't really know what to do at that point. At the time, our sponsors did a Tuesday sales training call, and they still do it. I would hop on those every Tuesday and hear from agents all over the country talking about how they were handling sales, especially during COVID, all of the workarounds to, different transactions and strategies, et cetera. It was fabulous because I wasn't just listening to what was going on in the 4 corners of my town with those agents. I was learning what others were doing, which was incredibly empowering. Then I got an EXP world because I thought, well, you know what? I've got time. I might as well spend as much time as I can learning. And I would just take every day, I would just pop into a class. I would scan to see something that I thought might be helpful. And then I would just pop into a class. And so I would say the pivoting moment for me then was I popped into a class on Zillow and Zillow ad dollars. And I believe it was Mitch Robinson at the time that taught it, who had formerly been with Zillow and could come over to EXP. I didn't know what an ad dollar was. I sat there, I thought, oh goodness, this is a whole different world that I didn't even realize. So I thought, well, I can surely get ahead of this. Like, why not go on and invest in these ad dollars? Because who's going to call me to help them buy or sell real estate? I've done, at then a total of 1 to 5 transactions. Why would anybody even want to call me? And do I even really know exactly what I'm doing?
So I want to call out something that you've done that I've encouraged agents for a long time to do. And conceptually, it sounds more overwhelming than you just better describe it than I do sometimes, which is, like, how do I find listings? Create your own inventory, right? You literally found a builder with a developer, paired them together, and you are creating listings that didn't exist, right? Fascinating. I love it. Keep going.
As all of this kind of progressed.
And by the way, this is what, year 3 in the business, right?
Yes, year 3. Yes, year 3. So as this progressed, the first development started, and that was a 103 townhome community, but it was very close to the university. So I knew that was my space. Like, I was going to love it. And the developer said, you do what you need to do to make this work. We did 3 models. We had them fully staffed on the weekends. I got EXP agents to cycle through and staff the models.
I love that. And there was such good nuggets on how to start. So let me sum it up for our listeners. One is you can start anywhere, right?
Yes.
I heard you say multiple ways you led with service, right? You led with value, right? So whether it's getting customers to work with me once upon a time or now leading this company, I tell everybody, give away your best stuff, right? Don't gatekeep, right? So like, it sounds a lot of the stuff you did was just give. You joined conversations, you educated, you led with education. And the most important thing that people need to hear listening to this, buy as much real estate as you can in a sustainable fashion. But they're, sadly, I think no one retires from real estate. They just die. Right. We've all been in a conversation with a realtor who was probably being condescending, and they were like, I've been doing this for 50 years. That's not okay. That's actually really sad for me. I think people should live the final season of life how they choose to. Not, look, if you love it and you want to have people in your car till the last breath, I know people who do want to do that. But at the same time, it should be optional. And the best way, absolute best, even better than rev share, buy real estate, pay it off, keep it forever. Well, Jill, 100%. It was an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much. I can't wait to see you continue to grow. And by the way, when I say continue to grow, is as an individual, because more is not better. Bigger is not better. Better is better. So whether 150 is awesome, or you go to 1,000, or you go back down to 50 because your lifestyle accommodates that based on all that amazing real estate you acquired, I'm here for it. And I'm super proud to be in business with you.
All right, so there you go. There is an excerpt from the podcast with Leo Pareja and Jill Rufus. If you guys want to see more of that, go into YouTube and type in Jill Rufus EXP podcast, and you'll pop that up, and it'll see the full interview between Jill and Leo. You want to make sure you get all the nuggets. She's got a bunch of really great stuff in there. Can you believe that? 147 sales in 1 year? That is pretty baller. She started out helping her husband in business, and now she's one of the top agents in the country for EXP and top agents in the country for selling homes, which is pretty cool. Congratulations, Jill. Very proud of you. Very, very well done. All right, next up, we have Alyssa Specht with University Spotlight. Take it away, Alyssa.
It is time again for your University Spotlight. My name is Alyssa Specht, and I'm about to hook you up with this next coming week's can't miss training sessions designed to help you grow, designed to help you scale, and designed to help you level up. So let's get into it, starting with Monday on Level Up. So Monday, we've got James Brown in the house. No, not that James Brown, but trust me, this one brings the same energy. Now, James is a team leader, and he's going to be dropping straight up gold on how to use rent-to-own strategies to serve more clients and close more deals. Guys, it's a game changer, especially for those who might be helping those credit-challenged buyers step into home ownership, which is incredibly powerful. So tune in. That's Monday. Then let's mosey on over and look at Thursday, because we've got another EXP Executive Masterclass. This is where we've got the heavy hitters in our company, and they are here telling you what is working right now. They are giving you the secrets to scale. So make sure that you do not miss this. But then we mosey on over then to Friday, where we are back here at the big agent meeting. We have the wonderful Mr. Brian Ellington, our CLO, and the brain behind EXP University. And he's going to be bringing the heat on how to implement winning systems, how to leverage automation, and how to create a real estate business that doesn't just survive, but it actually thrives. lives. So you will not want to miss that. Be back here at the big agent meeting. And then on Friday, we're still not done yet. We're going to wrap the week up strong with the lab. And the lab is going to feature Liz Brown, who is, certified powerhouse. She's got over 100 homes sold in the Richmond and Charlottesville market. And she is going to be bringing the exact playbook for scaling with video marketing, agent accountability, and talking a lot about social media. So if you are ready to grow your brand, grow your team, or even grow your confidence, this is the one for you. So guys, this wraps up your University Spotlight. Mark your calendars, block off the time, and show up for the sessions that are going to move your business forward.
All right, there you go. Now you know eXp University is always doing amazing things. Thank you, Alyssa, for getting us up to speed on what University is up to this week and next week. Pretty cool. All right, so next up, we have our Agent Advantage. This is one of our affiliated businesses to help you guys have tools at your fingertips to be able to take your business to the next level. And if you don't know about this one's called Zenlist. They're going to tell you what it is and what it does. Take it away for Zenlist.
Thanks, Russ. Jessie, Gilbert here from the Zenlist team, and I want to take you on a little bit of a journey with me. We're going to think about what we would do if we had more time in our week. So what would you do if you had an extra 10 hours in your work week? How could you show up for your clients if you had a whole other day that you could spend helping them? How could you create some work-life balance for yourself? How could you generate more business for yourself if you had 10 extra hours at the end of every week? And I'm asking you this because Zenlist helps agents save on average 10 or more hours every week because we're a modern tool built for you and your clients. I know what you're thinking. What does that even mean? I'm using my MLS. My clients are using the public search portals. Adding another app into the fold is just going to create chaos. It's going to be noisy. It's not going to save me any time at all. What are you even talking about? And you're exactly right. Your clients are using the public portals because they're easy to use. They feel familiar to what your clients are used to using every day, like their Facebook and their Instagram, but they don't have the information that you need as an agent. So you have to go back into your MLS to find all of the details that you need every time your client asks you about a specific property. And it's a little strange if we think about it. If we really break that down, you and your clients are working on the same transaction. You're working together, but you're operating in entirely different ecosystems. And it can get messy because you can't have that happy medium. Your clients don't want to use the MLS platform because most of them aren't tech forward, but the tech forward platforms don't have the details you need. And that's what I mean when I say that Zenlist is built for you and your clients. It gives your clients the user experience that they want, that they come to expect from technology in 2025, and gives you the valuable information that you need in addition to eXp's Office exclusive network. So on top of all of the MLS listings, you and your clients are also going to be able to search everything that eXp has available off of the local MLS across the US and Canada. So I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to actually walk you through what an interaction would look like. And as we're walking through this, I want you to just keep in the back of your brain, every time your client sends you a listing, sends you a screenshot or an address, how long does it take you to find the information you're looking for? So in this video, I just got a notification from my client, Lane. She likes a property and she wants to go see it tomorrow afternoon. So I'm just going to click that open. I'm going to read her message, and then I'm going to click on the listing details page. This is going to open everything I need to know. I've got the photos here. I've got the remarks. I have all of the listing agent's information front and center so I can give them a call. I even have access to the showing time integration so I can request that appointment directly from the Zenlist app. We go a little further down. We've got agent remarks. We've got listing agent information. I've got all those confidential documents so I can open the disclosures directly from the app on my phone. I've got similar properties nearby so I can see what's going on in that neighborhood. I can see what properties that are similar to this one are selling for, or if there are active or pending properties nearby that could be a good comp for this client. I can see the property history as well, see the last time it was sold, what status changes and price changes have happened to it after it hit the market. And once I've reviewed this page and I found all the answers that I was looking for, just going to go back to my chat and send Lane our appointment time. I'll let her know that we're scheduled for 2:30, and then I'll see her tomorrow. This whole interaction took less than a minute and a half. So I can really use that to save time, eliminate that chaos and the noise because everything's hosted in the same app. I don't have to juggle. I don't have to copy and paste. I don't have to screenshot or anything like that. So how long did it take you in your mind to walk through that same interaction using the public search sites in your local MLS? Probably a couple of minutes at least. So if you're curious to learn a little bit more about Zenlist, how it can help you search smarter, not harder, how it can help you win over more clients, generate more business for yourself, or how to get started, I want to invite you to a webinar we're hosting next Tuesday, July 15th. You'll join me live where I'll walk you through more in-depth scenarios like this, where you can use Zenlist and leverage the tools that eXp provides to you, because I failed to mention this, but eXp provides Zenlist to all of their agents at no cost. So you can use those tools and leverage being a part of eXp to help you save time, generate more business, and really grow something big with eXp. So scan this QR code, register for the webinar. Even if you can't make it in time, register. We'll make sure you get that recording. We'll send it your way. And I will see y'all next Tuesday. Thanks so much, Russ.
All right, so there you go. If you didn't know before, now you know what Zenlist is. Now you got another tool in your bucket, so you have the ability to help people get what they need because they have a ton of choices. Now you've got one more choice that they can have if it's the best fit for them. All right, so thank you very much for that. Okay, there you go. That's the show for 7-Eleven. Don't forget to go get your Slurpee today, and stay tuned for a QR code. We're going to pop that up here. If you guys could, let us know how we did today. We're just kind of shuffling the format around a little bit, making it into shorter segments for you guys. Let us know how you like it on a scale of 1 to 10. Give us some feedback if you want to add a comment in there. We always love reading your comments, so thank you for that. All right, that's the show for today. Stay tuned for iConversations coming up next. I'll see you guys next week.